Hey everyone, welcome to the comic book showdown of Ultimate Destiny. Making comics is hard. Getting people to buy your comics is even harder, but we're here to help. Well, at least I'm here. Don't know where Smurf is at today. Oh, yes, I do. He's at the Colorado Festival of Horror, so he won't be joining us today. But instead, we have our super producer, Ray, with us today, and he's going to help us take a look at comics. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Ray, to the show on camera.
Yeah. For the second time ever.
Yeah. Today, Destiny is going to choose 3 comic campaigns for us to look at and review, and Ray and I will look at them together. So stay with us to the end of the show, and we'll see which one of these we'll choose to give our money to, because
there can be only one.
Nice. So, man, oh man, it's been a busy couple of weeks. We've taken a couple of weeks off. We had some shows to do. I had my Kickstarter campaign wrap up yesterday. Had a huge success. Thank you to everyone who supported the campaign and came out and showed your support. We hit goal. We hit some of our stretch goals, and I learned a lot. This was a different show, that's for sure, or a different campaign. Marvin says, hey, Matt and Ray, thank you for joining us. Yeah, things have changed over the years. One of the things I took away from this campaign that hopefully all of you that are indie comic creators using platforms like this can take away from is the amount of backers that have gone into getting digital rewards has increased exponentially. So in the past, some of the higher tiers were some of the holofoil covers or the sexy covers, but in this campaign, it was by far, I want to say, I haven't looked at the percentages, but by far the digital was the highest tiers. So that means that as indie creators, we really need to make sure and have not only rewards for those digital campaign or digital rewards, but also in your like backer bonuses and your stretch goals to make sure and have digital rewards for those people as well. So if you put a sticker for every physical backer, well, all those digital people aren't going to get that. So you want to have some sort of digital rewards in there. And one of the things that I added that it ended up adding a lot of add-ons was I created a digital add-on that included all of the covers. So just like a PDF gallery of all the covers for the book, including the one that we unlocked at 100 backers. And so a lot of people that were already digital backers went back and added that, and it was a great thing. So for all of those that watch this video, be sure and make sure you have lots of digital rewards. That was my big takeaway from this campaign. That and that I lost some momentum because it took so long getting the next book out. So I got to work harder to get the books out faster.
Do you think part of it being so much digital backers is new people coming on board, and it's easier to catch up if you can get all of them in one go?
I mean, it's hard to tell without doing a poll, so just speculation, but I do think there's some of that. There's definitely a few names that I didn't recognize. There's probably some of that. And then I also think that it's just that when I look at the people that are backing, a lot of them are what we call super backers, where they've backed hundreds of campaigns. Okay. And so at that point, they were like, I can't afford to spend $20, $30 for every one of these campaigns, but I want to show support. So they're starting to lean harder into the digital rewards, which is what I think is a lot of it. But Todd's here. He says, "You're welcome. Awesome book. Thank you, Todd." Todd's also got an awesome book out that's actually on the show on the Wheel of Destiny today. We'll see if he gets chosen by his destiny to be on the show. But by all means, go check out his campaign. I actually did the cover for issue 3 of his book. And he's on issue 4 right now. So you can check that out, and you can probably still get issue 3 available, I would imagine. So yeah, check it out. So yeah, and then we had a lot of stuff going on in not only the comic book world, lots of announcements. They're back to working on the Blade movie. They had it shut down for a while. We had lots of introductions of new people from Comic-Con. So there's all kinds of exciting information this week. But the indie comics are what we're here for. And this show is about looking at indie comics from the point of view of a consumer. Some people have asked if they, could be on the show, kind of do an interview, talk about their campaign. And that's something that we're looking at doing. I want to do a show like that in the future. Just trying to find the right time slot for it, because I love having conversations with some indie creators. But this show is a whole different thing. This is a fun platform, almost game show type of platform. And so we just kind of like have everybody enter into the Wheel of Destiny. And it's Friday the 13th. So as Destiny would have it, we also have 13 entries on the Wheel of Destiny. So let me share that real fast. Where's my share screen? There it is. Wheel of Destiny. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
Oh, they get to run ads on it now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to close that ad. I like that they let me close it. Let's walk through who is on the Wheel of Destiny today. As previously mentioned, we've got Annabelle, Traversing Deeper. That's the book I was just talking about. Tales from the Toxic Pond, 1 through 3. I See Monsters, number 1. Dime Store Detective, issue 4. Fall of Man, Biophile Kolga. It's such a vague name, like I have no idea what it's about. We have another one called Ronan Riley. I always love that name. That's the name of one of my characters. The Fog Within, the Edge trade paperback, Bad Wabbit, Cardinal issue 3, Adventure for Hire, and more. And lastly, Death and the Maiden. 13 entries, Friday the 13th. Sounds good. So what do you think?
Sounds like Destiny.
Todd says you're welcome. Right? So let's get to it. Let's spin that wheel.
Let's fucking go!
There can be only one Highlander type situation. Behold, my wheel of
Destiny!
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Time to spin the wheel.
Yes, we got that spin the wheel intro. Let's do it.
And of course,
one.
Smurf's not here to see it.
I know, that's what happens. Looks like Bad Rabbit's number 1. So Emmy, if you're with us, make sure I can get a link to that one. Next up, we'll remove that one. Emmy's on it. I already see the message pop up. Next up, Cardinal issue number 3. And last but not least,
she's always pretty on it when she's available. Like when she's here, she's on it.
I agree. And lastly, it changed at the last second. We get Biophile Kolga, the one I have no idea what it's about. All right. So those are our 3 entries into the Wheel of Destiny. Let's get the messenger thing out of the way. There we go. Switch to this one. First up, Bad Wabbit, 1 through 3.
Marvin thinks it was on the line.
I heard it click.
Can't argue with the technology. We have nothing to
That's
do
right.
with
That's
what it
why
says.
I don't do it by hand. That's for sure.
We need to make a physical Wheel of Destiny.
Yes. Although then there would be, it's rigged. All right. First up, Bad Wabbit 1, 2, 3. It says Bad Wabbit is about an antisocial alcoholic rabbit forced on an adventure that will not only change him, but the world. They are at $819 of a $3,000 goal with 13 days to go. This is from, let's see if there's a name, Anthony Castro. All right, let's take a look at what the video tells us. All right. Well, Ray, this is your first opportunity on this show to tell us, what do you think of Bad Wabbit and that presentation so far?
So, I mean, I like the artwork. It didn't really tell us much about what's going on, though. And being number 3, maybe they're just assuming that you know who the characters are. But I mean, I like the artwork. I feel like the pace of the video was a little slow. I feel like if it was a little quicker and had a more dramatic music, like maybe I feel like it would fit better, but I don't feel like the song really fit with the vibe.
Yeah, it's very somber, like, somebody died kind of thing. And I did see some instances where there was some tragedy happening. But you're right. There was no information given. And so anybody that's watching, if you know the creator of the comic, let's see. Omar says Yojimbo vibes. Yeah, I get that. He's talking to Yojimbo. He also says Naruto soundtrack. Is that actually the soundtrack from that? Because I don't know if how they would get away with that without getting in trouble. Or at least it's very risky.
I guess someone's got to find it to get in trouble, but there's a lot of AI looking for that stuff now.
So yeah, if you guys know the creator, make sure and tag him in this video at some point so that he can take a look at the feedback that we're going to give here. So yeah, in this intro video, it shows some artwork. One of the things to be specific that I saw here was that there was a reoccurring effect of like this puzzle piece that kind of eventually reveals the artwork. And whenever you do stuff like that, what you have to remember, it's kind of like with words on a screen as they're animating in, the time that it's animating doesn't necessarily count as time that you can actually read the text, right? It's in the process of getting there. And once it's finally stationary, then that's when you start counting time of how long it takes to read it, right? And the artwork's the same way. In this instance, like most of the time was being taken up with this transition into showing the artwork. And then once the artwork was fully revealed, you had like a second before it would move on to the next one. So you really didn't get a lot of time to actually like process what was going on. But some sort of text, or ideally even more like some audio speaking about what this book is about, what the characters' tragedies are, what they're trying to deal with and face, would be a huge benefit to this video. I'm sure and hope anyway that we're going to find out some more information as we scroll down, but based on the video alone, it's just a slideshow of stuff. It doesn't really tell us a whole lot. It does set a tone. Right now I'm seeing a tone of like, sadness and sorrows. And speaking of which, that's exactly the song. So I would also be very careful about that. You're not supposed to use copyrighted music. Maybe it's not copyrighted and that's how they're getting away with it. I don't know, but it seems like if it's attached to Naruto, chances are good it's probably copywritten. So that's a risk. That's a big risk. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. But let's dive in a little deeper into this campaign and see if the information in the first few paragraphs tells us a bit more about what's going on here. So let's see. Let me zoom in on that just a little bit more. There we go. So nice. I like that layout. All right. It says, Bad Wabbit, humans have all but destroyed the planet with their pollution and war. Amidst the gradual decline of the human species, anthros, animals that have evolved to have human-like qualities, have emerged, slowly becoming the dominant species on the planet. Hundreds of years after the extinction of mankind, the power-hungry Pangolin Empire rule over a ruthless, dying world, unwilling to allow the healing of the planet as they hoard resources. A world on the verge of death cries for a champion that will heal it and free from its grasp. So that's all premise. That's all setting. That's all letting us know, like, what's the backstory of this. I still don't know a single character or name yet about who this is about. Got some cool looking artwork here, kind of Mad Max kind of vibes almost, but with anthropomorphic characters.
Yeah, it's like John McClane flipping you off as a rabbit.
Right. Here it says, Bad Rabbit's the ongoing redemption story of an alcoholic antisocial in a post-apocalyptic dystopian future that struggles with a very traumatic past. Shanghaied by the beautiful pirate queen Foxy Fox, the events that follow will launch Wabbit and his porcine, I think I've said that right, porcine pal, Toxic Pig, down a path that will not only change Wabbit, but his world in profound ways. So now we know that Bad Wabbit is the character. He's an alcoholic, antisocial, and he's in a post-apocalyptic dystopian future where all the humans have died off. And he's struggling with a traumatic past. Okay, that will be revealed in the story. So again, something I think that would help here is like, what's he trying to do? Is he just, trying to get through day by day and then getting sucked into some sort of plot that he's not interested in? Is he driving the plot forward because he's trying to achieve something and something stands in his way? That's the kind of stuff that helps us understand like what this is about. It does help that he's described this because it does help set the tone. I'm assuming this is Foxy Fox here. Nice digital painting there. And then this is the team, right? So that's pretty much all we're going to get, looks like, out of this project. So we've mentioned these types of things before, but having a reason, giving people an emotional connection to a character and what they're trying to achieve, what their struggle is a really good way to get people involved. So I feel like that's the thing that this could benefit from, for sure. What about you, Ray? Anything else to add before we head on to the next one?
Not really. I mean, I wish could get a better, view of some internal pages, get a feel for the way the story's going to feel. But I mean, that's the only thing I could think of that hasn't been said.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there wasn't a lot of that, was there? Like interior pages to look at, kind of get teased by. I mean, other than what we saw in the video, but I don't know where if those came from this issue or what. So, all right. Well, we will move on to the next one and see what it shows us. Let's see. Let's share this tab instead. Next up, we have the Cardinal issue 3. They are just about at goal with 21 days to go, so they're well on their way. It says the Cardinal returns, bring on the villains, right? So you've watched and been part of this show for a long time, Ray. What do you get out of that tagline?
Essentially, some Birdman's going to fight some bad guy, but no real depth.
Okay. Yeah, this is, again, just based on the first line, it's definitely catered towards the returning customer, right? This character returns. All right. Well, I don't know this character yet. This is brand new to me. So I think, again, we've said this before too. Always design your Kickstarters to be catered to the new audience, the people who have no idea. Now it looks like this one doesn't have a video, but the artwork looks great on this thumbnail card or whatever you want to call it. It's professional looking.
It's kind of got some Spider-Man-y feeling.
Spider-Man-y. That's a new word, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. I feel like this person's the person trying to figure out who the Cardinal is on the left. And, I would guess the dude in red is the Cardinal, but. Right.
I mean, I agree with that. So here we're going to jump down to the story, or at least what it tells us in here. It says the Cardinal, issue 3, returns and is ready for action. After his younger sister discovers his secret, maybe that's who that was, Terrence confides in her to help him navigate the trials of mastering his powers. When a villainous assassin threatens a loved one, Terrence must expedite his training and suit up for the first time to fight crime, whether he's ready or not. All right. So this one's given us a little bit of plot information, which is helpful. We know that he's got somebody that he cares about, which we can all relate to. He's got abilities that he doesn't know how to use, so that puts him at a disadvantage. And there's a villainous assassin that has threatened somebody that he loves. So those have all the components of, a story. And so that is some good information there. So let's see what else did we get. Go ahead.
What has he been doing in the other 2 episodes of superhero comics if he's just now suiting up?
That's a good question. I mean, yeah, we just have to assume that he spent this time trying to, maybe he, introducing him and then
vigilante.
and then to getting power somehow. Yeah. Right. Yeah. We don't know, but let's see. Brian Magne. I don't remember how to say his last name, but I know Brian. Brian's actually submitted some stuff for coloring for Action Line before. The Cardinal character design, the Veil character design, which I assume is our villainous assassin. We got covers. That's a beautiful cover. There's another one. So that opening card was like a kind of combination of those. We had this cover C, another nice looking action pack, typical comic book looking cover.
So it looks like Mason is in or is watching.
Oh, right on. Welcome, Mason.
Yeah.
He's telling us that without spoiling anything, the beginning of issue 1 takes place at present time and then goes to a flashback, which is what issue 2 and 3 are covering. All right. Very good. So we jump into the action with the first issue and then we go back. So that's a pretty good approach. I don't know if you were here already, but we were commenting on how, you've done a great job with kind of giving us some information about what's at stake. We've talked about this before that, until we know what a character wants, we don't know what the story is. Until we know what's at stake, we don't care. And you have, in a couple sentences, given us both of those things: what's at stake and what he wants, in this case, to protect his loved one from the villainous assassin. So good job on that. And the artwork is incredible. Looks fantastic. So definitely looking good here so far.
I like that one. The flying through the air,
yeah, I like the effects coming off of it.
That's a good image, yeah.
Yeah. Again, very comic book hero type of image. Got some action. I assume it said this is from previous issues. So yeah, looking good. This looks very professional. It's classic comic book look. So far, I think you're doing a great job with this. I would be curious whether or not not having a video is hindering at all. Right now, you're right on track to hit your goal. You still have 21 days to go, so I'm very confident you'd hit your goal. But I can understand not getting video because video is a lot more work. And if you don't have someone that does video editing or not familiar with it yourself, it can be a lot of work. But it certainly can help set the tone and give a lot of information quickly because, people are lazy and don't want to read. But you did a good job of getting that information out right at the beginning. You didn't bury the lead, which is another thing we talk about all the time on the show. So
Smurf's favorite line.
That's his favorite line. Yeah. So yeah, Mason, so far so good. I think you've done a great job with what you have here. And again, I don't know if you were here earlier, but he says, working on an animation video trailer for future campaigns. Definitely a lot of work. It is. I did a video for my last. I've done a video for all my campaigns, but there's a blend of showing what's coming, showing the art, setting the tone, being informational, and making sure that people hear and see what's going on and they're clear, while at the same time also giving a little bit of a personal touch with having your own face on there. It's trying to get all that in there is a lot of work. And then keeping it to a minute. Yeah, in a minute and a half, right? So it's a lot of work. I get it. But like I said, you're doing good without that, despite having that. So And right away, we see there's a digital copy, and then you jump into the physical copies. And it looks like you're doing pretty good with um, the numbers as far as physical backers. So that's also a great sign. Okay. All right. Looking good. Looking good. Anything else you want to add, Ray, before we move on to number 3?
I mean, I'm personally, like, with the way my brain works, I enjoy seeing the page layouts and because seeing an image that's alone doesn't tell the same story as seeing like how the page is going to flow and stuff like that to me. So I like when people throw in the full, at least a page layout or two, just to get an idea.
Yeah, I totally agree. I want to get a feel for what this book's going to look like. I want to know, like, the vibes. The artwork definitely can help sell the book, and had some good artwork on it for sure. So I'm looking at the next one here, and we may end up having to add a different one. You guys can help work with me on this one. John just showed up, says hi, welcome, John. So this one's on Indiegogo. I have never actually created a campaign on Indiegogo. I have backed a couple, but you guys can in the chat can help me clarify this. This show is only about live campaigns, not pre-campaigns or campaigns that are already gone. And as I'm reading this, I feel like I'm reading that it says that it's already over. It says, switch to that lower part. There we go. It says, Balafile Kolga, an old heretic cursed with a second life, must face cult. 1,620 by 29 backers on September 1st. So, isn't this then done? So, are you reading that any differently than I am?
No, I mean, that's what it feels like. And it doesn't
Yeah.
say like support or whatever. It says pick your perks. Like after it's over, you get to like select, based on levels that were achieved. Maybe you go in after and pick like your perks.
Right.
Like,
And I've seen some campaigns on Indiegogo that are like an ongoing campaign where even though they hit their goal or had, a date there, it's just continually ongoing support. That doesn't seem like that's what I'm seeing here. So if anyone else sees anything different or knows anything different, then feel free to let me know. So let's go back to the Wheel of Destiny. We're going to grab another one. Looks like Adventure for Hire and More, double feature comics adventure. All right. So Emmy will have that one up for it in just a second. Oh my gosh, she's so fast.
So yeah, it shows a meter and stuff. I pulled up Indiegogo. If they're still ongoing, it still shows the meter like Kickstarter, like the pledge meter and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that one was closed because it didn't have any of that.
All right. I'm closing and resharing this because I got a pop-up warning that said the audio may not work. So, all right. So yeah, according to what everybody's consensus was, that book looked like it was already closed out. All right. So that's the one thing about this show. We only deal with live campaigns because we're going to back one of them. And sometimes people will submit their campaign and then they end it before we actually go live. That happens occasionally. Like they submit it on Monday, we go live on Friday. So That's okay. Let's go on. We've got a new one here for number 3, Adventure for Hire and More. Double feature comics adventure. Get 2 throwback feeling action and adventure comics illustrated by Mexico's Miguel Guzman, like classic serials in comic form. All right. So we know the genre, we know the style. We don't know what it's about yet. So let's see. Let's see what the video tells us. Way too fast. Oh man, I know you know the problem here. They committed the cardinal sin. What is it, Ray?
I am not a fast reader by any means, but some of them I was maybe a third of the way through and it cut to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
also, like, my brain like looks at the image first, then is like words, and I start reading, and then
Yeah.
just
I mean, I was trying to read as fast as I could, and I don't think I was able to finish one of those. So we've had this happen on the show many times. And so Mason, you were talking about making your video. If you're going to have text in your video, heed this advice. Either A, have an audio that's reading the text so that you know how fast it has to be read, or when you're making the audio or the text on the screen, like read it out loud to yourself and then add another 30%. So if it takes, 10 seconds, then add 3 more seconds, just to make sure there's enough time, because it takes a while to read all that text. I don't think I got one of those. And it's a shame because I think it had a lot of information in it that was helpful.
But most people aren't going to pause the video and scroll back to read if they didn't read it all the first time.
No, you're absolutely right on that. Most people are not going to do that. So that might be hurting them. They have, looks like they just might have launched because it's 30 days, and that's generally the average launch is around 30 days. So they might hit their goal. Who knows? But let's see if some of that information that was in the video is down below.
I mean, the artwork was good though. Like there was good artwork, but I was too distracted trying to read really fast to look at it.
And then you get this anxiety of like, oh no, I missed it. I don't know what's going on. And then like another one pops up. Now you're just anxious.
Like tennis match. I'm trying to like bounce back and forth from the artwork to the words.
Yep. All right. So double feature comic book adventure from artist Miguel Guzman. I feel like I know that name. Come 2 major comics cut from the mold of classic adventure serials like Indiana Jones and the Mummy. All right. I definitely got that vibe from the artwork. One's called Adventure for Hire. One's called Outsider. Again, one's in English, one's in Spanish. That's cool too. PG rated, adventures for kids. Kids at Heart. All right, so that's good information about the genre and what's going on, who the artist is.
Well, and in an age on Kickstarter where a lot of them are adult-oriented
Adults for
content,
sure.
it's good to have that in there.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a different audience.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing that they're putting that right out front. This is something else, and you guys that are watching, you can chime in the chat on this, but something I feel like helps when you do a Kickstarter campaign is having people that oops, I'm trying to highlight it, not click on it, won't let me. But over here, it says that this first one they've ever created, and they're 0 back. That means they're brand new Kickstarter people, and you can definitely get away with that on your first campaign because people are like, oh, they're brand new. But when you get into like your second, third, fourth campaign, and you still have 0 backed, people start to look at that and go, oh, this person is just selfish. They're up here, they're like, in it for them, and they're not really supporting anybody else. So it's always helpful, in my opinion. You guys can let me know what you think, that you go and you back some other campaigns, some other things, let people know that, like, hey, you're supportive of this community, and you back other people. This can also happen too, like if you have a private account and then you start like a publisher name account or something, and that new account hasn't backed anyone. I've seen that happen. And again, it works fine on your first campaign, but after a couple, you're like, I should probably start showing some support for other people. But here,
because it is under Action for Hire Comics.
Yeah. So it might just
account,
be a new company account. So, set up an account to go back some other people, and I feel like that helps. I don't know. What do you guys think? The book looks good. Let's see what the information here says. It says a rollicking 1940s adventure, a mysterious dig site in the deserts of northern Africa holds dark secrets that few know about. A harrowing escape as a massive sandstorm approaches, causing our hero Bartholomew Dalton, archaeologist Walter St. John, and his son Spencer to fly out of the path of danger just in the nick of time. But they left their dead benefactor behind when the diggers on the site returned to them.
Like a dark quick.
So, right? I feel like that one almost gave too much away. Like the flying out of the path of danger just in the nick of time. Well, now if I read it, I know they're going to be flying out. They're going to succeed in getting away. Even though there's like, an awareness that, our heroes generally escape, danger. We want to, part of the appeal is, are they going to succeed or not? So I feel like that was a little bit of a giveaway, but obviously it's not the main threat. So it goes on to say that Dalton makes off with a valuable scroll that carries clues to a hidden secret when he realizes he isn't getting paid for this particular adventure for hire. However, Walter, a rich American financier, an Egyptian mobster, and a beautiful but deadly Iranian assassin all pose complications for Dalton's planned smooth getaway. Right. So some definite, 40s serial adventure kind of vibes in there for sure. And I think that that's all based around this one, the adventure for hire. Then we have the Outsider with a different description. In the 1870s, in the town of Wildstone, a stagecoach is robbed and the people on it end up dead. The culprit, a stranger who has just arrived in town, is a man named Walter Bowles. But is he really the culprit? What is the connection between this robbery and another crime in town? A guns blazing adventure of truth, deception, and men in hats.
Well, if it's going to be Wild West, you got to have hats.
You got to have the hats. Yeah, absolutely. for Ray, we've got some pages to show off. I'm
Yeah.
assuming this is from the one we just mentioned, the Outsider. We have maybe, I don't know. This kind of looks like the desert now. This
Yeah,
might
but
be the
Wild West can have desert too.
yeah. I think this. I don't know. I think this might be the Adventure for Hire because it looks more like the archaeologist kind of situation. But it looks good,
And there's no hats.
and there are no hats. There you go. You're absolutely right. That's how we know. All right, looks good. I do remember some of these shots from the video. The artwork looks good. So, and there's our getting away from the sandstorm shot, right?
Flight of the Phoenix style.
Yeah, and then we have shots from the other book, right? So, not a bad set of stuff here. I wonder if did it say like how many pages this all was? Let's see if it says it here.
It says double feature, but I don't remember
it saying how many. It says Adventure for Hire will be a 5-issue series and continue beyond this campaign. Outsider is a one-shot story. So you're going to get one full story and then the introduction of another story in this campaign. But I don't see anything about like, oh, here it is. Both comics are oversized 40-page issues. So that's, if I'm understanding that right, like 80 pages altogether.
Yeah.
I missed the Mason says I missed the title of this one, but definitely want to look up the campaign. Yeah, so the campaign is called Adventure for Hire and More. And yeah, I'm sure Emma can post a link to the campaign in the comment section for you. But all in all, a pretty cool little campaign. I wish them luck. They've got 30 days left to hit their goal. They're looking at about 15-20% right now. There's the link to it. All right. So,
well, and with it being under like the Adventures for Hire and More, my guess would be is for the 5 Adventures for Hire ones, they're going to have some sort of attachment to it, like one-shot story that goes with each campaign.
Yeah.
So,
I would assume so, but I like the idea of having like that double feature kind of scenario. So you're getting a lot for your money. And it has a digital tier that you get both books digitally for $10. You can get both books digitally in Spanish, physical editions.
So that makes a little more sense why the pages didn't have any word bubbles and
so they can
like because
show one or the other.
Working on 2 of them, yeah.
I do like the idea. I mean, this is one of the first times I've actually seen this. I'm sure it exists in other campaigns, but first time I've ever seen on the show where there is, an English version and then a version for another country or another language. I definitely think that's a good strategy, especially if you've got, a big following in another country. So, one thing I might recommend too, and again, this is just from experience I've learned over time, is that they've got a digital tier, and then they have a digital tier in Spanish. So those are your 2 digital editions. And then we get into the physical books. We got English physical, Spanish physical, and then boom, we jump into like high level tiers into the hundreds, right? Having some tiers in between there that have some extras, like you might have a physical book that also includes a print or some stickers or, some extra stuff, can be a huge benefit to like getting some higher backers, because most people are only going to get, what am I trying to say? A smaller number of people are going to get these really high end rewards. And so, yeah, it looks like we've got one on most of these, right?
Ooh.
Um,
And then,
so,
it's some big jumps in price too. Like,
yeah, it went from
$26 to
$125
$125, and then up to
right.
$310.
Yeah. So I found that if you take your, total support on your campaigns and divide it up by the number of backers that you have, you get an average. They'll also show you your average on the back end. But for me, most of the time, my average tends to be around like the $35 mark. So what I like to do, that it's usually very effective, is to create a reward in that spot of like $35 range and just pack it full of as many things that you can afford to put in there. And some of those things can be free, like you get your name in the book, or you get a thank you letter, simple things that don't cost a lot, but you could also add bookmarks or a sticker and like make that reward as valuable as possible for the money that they're paying for, so that they want to do it. They're like, oh, for $20 I can get the book, but for just a little bit more I get a whole bunch of shit, and that seems more worth it, so I'm going to go with that. And you pack that, and it tends to like draw people to it, and that's where the vast majority of your backing comes from. Because you're going to get digital people, and you might get a couple of the high-end people, but you really want to kind of hit that sweet spot. But all in all, I've had some great campaigns today, great books. Thank you, everybody, for supporting. If you didn't get selected to be one of the 3, be sure and submit again if your campaign is still live next time we do the show. And you can try again, right? Also, if you missed the Mythica campaign, you're interested to know more about Mythica, you can certainly go check out Mythica at the website, actionlandstudios.com. Currently you can get issues 1 through 8, and as soon as issue 9 is ready, issue 9 will be up there as well. You can also get a lot of backstory about, what's going on in Mythica. You can look at some of the character profiles, and you can see our wall of Mythica maniacs, people who have submitted pictures wearing their shirts or holding their comics, sometimes even the fan art. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the website, so be sure and check that out. But now it is time to choose a winner for today's show, the one that we will be supporting and backing. All right. So, Ray, do you have a way to show your support, which one you have chosen? Or are you just going to like announce it?
Oh, I found a marker and paper.
Already got it going. Okay.
Already wrote mine down. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to write mine down right now.
I don't know if we're going to agree or not. We'll see.
If we don't, then we go back to the Wheel of Destiny. That's what it's there for. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going really fancy here and using the back of mail.
I used the back of my shade timeline I did in your class.
Awesome. All right, guys. Are we ready? Where's our drum roll? We need our drum roll. There it is. Oh, we got the same one.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right. So there it is. Congratulations to the Cardinal. We'll be backing and supporting your campaign. Why did you end up choosing the Cardinal? What was the deciding factor for you?
So for me, even though it was the only one without a video, I feel like the information provided was like the most relevant information that would draw me in. Like, I feel like the artwork was the cleanest that we saw. I mean, covers are different than, you know, a lot of time goes into a cover, but sometimes the inside pages are a little more rushed, it feels like.
Right.
But they were clean, they looked good. We got a little catch up on what's happened in the past and, you know, where we're going now.
Yeah, yeah, same. I felt like it was the most, well packaged of all of the three. It had even without the video. So good job on that. Jeff says thanks for the shout out. Mason says means the entire world. You guys, absolutely. So two things are going to happen. Number one, shortly by the end of the day, I will be backing the campaign. And then also be looking on the Actionland Studios website. We'll be making a congratulations post on there. And so with that said, that is what we have for today. Be sure and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 backers so we can get monetized, so I can start, paying some of these people that help, and Emmy, who's behind the scenes, always with the links right on time, and maybe Smurf, maybe get him some better internet or something.
Some headphones.
Although I think he finally got a router, like a portable router.
We'll see.
But we'll see. We'll see. So be sure and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's under Matt Campbell Arts. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for your submissions. And we will see you next time on the Comic Book Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. Thank you so much.